All right, so we got to get the equation of a tangent line to this graph here at the given point. So let's start off with the idea that if we're going to be finding the equation of a line, we're going to want it in slope-intercept form, first of all, which means we're going to need a slope and another point. Or really, if you need the equation of any line, you're going to need at least one point and then some means of finding slope, right? Well, they gave us the point. In the calc class, always, the slope comes from evaluating the derivative, or in this case it's called y. We got to evaluate y prime, the derivative, at the x value. In this case, the x value of the point given is -1. So we've already got the point, right? They gave it to us, the point -1, 2. What we need is the slope. And again, the slope is going to come from finding the derivative and then plugging in that x value of -1. So if you notice here, we've got a quotient. So we use the quotient rule. And I like to simplify the quotient rule a little bit. Remember, if we think of this as like numerator over denominator, then the derivative is the derivative of the numerator times the denominator minus the derivative of the denominator times the numerator all over the denominator squared. So the derivative here is going to be the derivative of the top, the numerator, is -4, and then just times the bottom, which is the denominator x squared plus 1. Then we got a minus sign, and now we take the derivative of the denominator, which is 2x, and multiply it times the numerator, which is -4x. And then it's all over the bottom squared, right? The denominator, x squared plus 1 squared. Okay, so because all we care about is the slope, we're not really stating the derivative as the answer. We're just using it to find the slope we need. You don't necessarily need to simplify. Now, that being said, I would simplify this because we're going to evaluate it, and it's a little easier to do it once it's nice and simplified, and it's not that much work, right? Like we'll do -4x squared, write all the steps out. -4x squared, right? If we're distributing the -4, we get a -4. And then we have a plus. 2 times 4 makes 8x squared over x squared plus 1 squared. So hopefully you see, we got 8 minus 4. That's 4x squareds. Then we got a -4. And then we've got, you can actually simplify this quite a bit. Now again, whether or not you do, I lied. This is still good enough. I thought maybe you could even factor this even further. But that's just going to be x plus 1, x minus 1. This is x squared. So that's it. So here's the derivative. And again, the goal was to find the slope that we need. So that was a matter of plugging in the x value at the point we're interested in, -1. So if you plug a -1 in here, let's see, -1 squared is 4. So it's 4 minus 4 is 0. Wow, so we got a slope of 0. If you notice, the bottom in this case is going to be 4, because -1 squared is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. But it doesn't matter, right? 0 before is 0. So the slope is actually 0. So in some ways it makes for an easier problem. It's just you got to know what that means. Like for instance, if you know the slope is 0, right? The slope is 0, then it really just means y equals whatever the intercept is, right? The b, whatever the y value is. So it really just means, hey, well, y must be 2. And that's it. The slope is 0, so it's a flat line, right? It just is a line that's flat at y equals 2. Now, if you don't see that, you can always just stick with the standard form for finding the equation of the line, given the slope and a point. Or you can use, like, for instance, point slope form. Right? You take, remember, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If you plug in these values, you get y minus our y value is 2. M, which we saw was 0, where we plugged in -1 to the derivative and got a 0. And then we've got x minus, well, we're subtracting a -1, so it's actually adding 1. And if you do the math here, look, 0 times this is 0, because 0 times anything is 0. So it's just a matter of adding the 2, and then, of course, there's your answer. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.